often do you go to North Glasgow? Ever? You can't normally hear me because I'm off a low talker. Hello, I'm off a low talker.
I'm Rob Florence.
Hi, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Consolevania.
This is the end of the year special. We're going to be talking about our favourite games of the year, Game of the Year awards.
Have you had a good 2020, Rob?
It's been alright.
Cool. I've really enjoyed it. Aye. Best games of 2020. That'll not take me long.
I'm going to guess that Ryan's favourite game of 2020 is... What's that wee indie game you played with the wee guy jumping about?
I don't even remember.
The wee guy, he's depressed. He's suicidal.
Consolevania? Consolevania, is that what it's called?
Could be that. So we're going to be doing a top 3. Ryan, you need to come up with 3.
Right, I'll just make them up.
Aye, aye, sir. The skipper seems jumpy. We better get moving. We'll find you weapons later.
You'll need to hurry upstairs. There's a war on. We'll give you a weapon later.
Double quick.
Can I have a gun? Give your gun. Fuck. Alright, calm down. Gun. You laughing at? This guy's pissing himself laughing.
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
You're the only one that can do it, Master Chief. You're the saviour. We need you. There's a gun. I've not got any bullets for it, but you'll need to find your own bullets, alright? Good luck. Everything seems fine here. I mean, there's red lights and stuff, but everybody's just sitting about checking their emails and stuff. I forgot which way I was going. Could you just pause the war, lads? I don't know where I'm going. How long could this go on for? They've stopped firing. He's wanting to hit the canteen, lads. Oh, it's just you. Yeah. Bit rude. The Master Chief is having to drive. You're our only hope, Master Chief. You're humanity's saviour. Could you drop me off at Tesco, please? Drive into a tree.
Cavalry has arrived. You're a sight for sore eyes, Chief. We're in a bad way. We've got wounded here.
I'll call in a drop
Do you
ship
need
to
me
pick
to
them up.
fucking open a tin of pickles or something while I'm here? Any light bulbs or anything you need the Master Chief to change while he's here? It's not gonna get through that, is it? Ah, it's frustrating. Nearly. Oh!
What a year. What a fantastic year it's been. I get married, for one thing. That was a good thing. But there was also the global pandemic, which was a difficult situation for everybody to navigate. Bad for your mental health, bad for your body if you were to catch the virus, bad for making money if you've got a job, bad for a lot of things, but I'll tell you what it was good for. was good for playing games, wasn't it? We got to play loads of games this year as we were hiding away from the virus, and we were lucky in that I think this year was an amazing year for video games. To such an extent that it made choosing a top 3 games of the year very, very difficult indeed. I've been turning this over in my head over and over. Very, very difficult to work out what I was going to put in my top 3, because I know you're all waiting with bated breath. I know that Ryan will have his top 3 as well, but I know you'll kind of be disregarding that to a great extent because you know the kind of stuff he's into. So I felt a lot of pressure on myself to pick this top 3 because I know you'll probably all just run out and buy them immediately. So without any further ado, let's get tore right in. My top 3 games of the year of the great global pandemic, 2020. We planted a load of bulbs out in the garden, right, a few months ago, hoping that they're going to come up in the spring. But every day we have squirrels that come and they dig up the bulbs. They dig them up and eat them, take them away up into the trees. And so quite often I have to stand at this window and look out for squirrels, and then if squirrels come I need to go and chase the squirrels away. That's my life now. But it makes me feel at one with nature and with the wider world. And another game that does that is my number 3 on the best games of 2020 according to RAB. And it's a very recent game. It's a game that's not got a lot of buzz, weirdly, despite it being available on one of the big new next-gen launch consoles. And it's about being at one with nature and the world and your surroundings. It is a game called The Pathless, and it is absolutely beautiful. If there is anything we know about computer games, it's that some of them get buzz and some of them don't, and the ones that don't buzz often get forgotten. Do not forget this. The Pathless is a game by Giant Squid, and here it is in my living room. It's a game that has startled everybody in my house. Even my mother-in-law was in and she was like, I had no idea games were like this. I thought games were just all about shooting people and killing people. I had no idea games were this amazing and beautiful. That's the kind of game The Pathless is. If you are a fan of Journey, The Pathless reminds me very much of Journey. It's Journey with boss fights. And Journey with boss fights just, I'm sure you'll agree, sounds like one of the best games ever made. Which this surely is. It's been a great year for games, this. A great year for games. But very few things have been as enjoyable this year as how you move about in this game. Every time you hit one of these targets, you get a wee bit of spirit. And your spirit lets you run and lets you jump high and stuff. So you do these acrobatic archery moves and move really quickly through the world, and it just feels amazing. It's just... I sometimes wonder, you know, when games like this come along, I kind of go, right, how did the design of this game work? Did they come up with this movement thing first? Anyway, everything about this game, I love. I love clamping this big eagle. I love feeling its body, rubbing up it, doing its lovely body. This eagle just is like the spirit of this kind of big eagle god. And it's your companion on this journey, where you have to run about and take away the curse from the land, fight big bosses, liberate their spirits, and then take out the big baddie. That's all the story any game needs. I'm just having a wee look around here. Now, by this point, having looked at this game, you will probably already know whether you would like it or not, just by seeing it in action. It's not just a game. It's one of the games, you know what I mean? It's not just a game, it is also a place for you to spend time in. I often just stick this game on and go and jump onto a rock and just have a wee look around. Sometimes that's just enough for me. I love a game that offers you a world with no real explanation, and you're having to kind of piece together the lore yourself. That's what I loved about things like Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. And The Pathless just lets you loose in this beautiful environment. And lets you just kind of build a picture in your mind and in your heart. It's a gorgeous place to be, a really gorgeous place to be. And, you know, like I said, the movement, just moving about in it, it's just amazing. I like to just put it on just to speed about, run about, fire my arrows, swing about, pat my eagle. It's a gorgeous game, and I don't know why more people haven't spoken about it. It's just for the kind of game that it is, which is like a kind of offbeat art game type of game. It's still an amazing game. It has amazing puzzles, beautiful wee environmental puzzles. There's a wee bit of jumping and platforming type stuff happening in it. There's great boss battles. So while there have always been these kind of indie type games that have an art leaning, that are beautiful places to be, very rarely are they also as good a game as the Pathless is. The Pathless is also a great game. Great puzzles, great wee details and secrets to find. And man, the boss fights are just epic, thrilling things. I wish I had an eagle. See, if I had an eagle, I wouldn't have to stand here watching for these squirrels. I would just send my eagle out. My eagle would take care of that for me. If I had an eagle. Ryan always says you need to let go of your ego. Like, detach yourself from your ego. He is saying ego, right? So when? Yes, darling? Okay, I'm coming. I need to help Gaga.
Here we go, it's the first wee squeezy bit. Brilliant. Top class.
Meet you at the clamps.
I mean, it's like gameplay. It's like it.
Watch out, Cal!
So, with the release of the incredibly exciting and no doubt fantastically life-changing new consoles, I thought now would be the perfect time to talk again about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for the end of 2019. The end of the old times, the old ways now past. Do any remember the wonders of the old ways? In 2019 we could all travel in our tens of thousands to watch a sporting something or other, and we could all openly spit at people who were wearing different colour t-shirts than us. We enjoyed true freedom.
Yes. 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 Fucking love these bits. Love these bits.
Sounds like scrap rats.
That's
Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to.
What's
come
it
out
been
and say
like?
hi
For
this time.
15 seconds since I've had to do anything? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No doubt it could just be because I made that video last year where I was mad sad, but it felt to me like this Jedi game was everywhere for months. It was like the video game version of that Bryan Adams Robin Hood song. You couldn't fucking get away from it. Its popularity was baffling. And now it's on that EA Play service thing and they're going on about it where again? The amount of folk that must have played that game by now. And yet even playing it a year later with a different life and all the distractions of the Twitch stream while I'm doing it, and it's still a really dull game to play. There's definitely individual assets in the game that are nice. It often looks good, but I mean, it looks good when the pop-up, isn't it? Nearly taking your eye out. But it's definitely so... I'm shrugging. Can you see me shrugging? It's so... shrug.
It's like playing a game for a distance.
The old
Like playing a game through the windows at Dixon's.
You?
Yeah.
Yes! Here we go. Yes!
Stop the
Yes,
train.
mate. Yes.
I talked in the video last year about needing meaningful connections. And it really doesn't matter what state your noggin is when you're playing this game. Meaningful it is not. Bloated and floaty and spookily empty it is. But I do think I've managed to cultivate some understanding in the area of meaning. You shouldn't... My feet are getting fucking wet here. Oh, that water's coming in. You should look at that. That water's came in while I've been sitting here. My feet are wet. Oh, I'll hurry up. You shouldn't expect yourself to be able to process meaning when you're gripped by things like anxiety and fear. You shouldn't avoid the wounds you carry. You shouldn't be hard on yourself. You should see your own kind intentions towards yourself. You should attend to yourself. You should look for yourself. Then you'll find a bit of meaning. And you'll feel meaning. Or use the Force. Are we still talking about that game? Not really, are we? Look at that. I'm in the drink.
Right. So we just spent the last 20 odd minutes playing that crappy intro tutorial thing that established that I could climb on these things, but now it's telling me that I'm on the wrong side of it, so I can't grab it. It's like EA games are shite in the same way that River City's shite. You just get enough people that, oh, look, there's one of the boys that you use the Force to move that seems to be malfunctioning a bit just now. Once you start to tip the scale of people who are involved with your game that don't give a fuck about what they're working on, you end up with this. Is he using the Force there as well? Is that the Force as well?
Absolutely. Can I get it focused? Stunning. I've got a Christmas cracker joke for you here. It's not really a Christmas cracker joke, it's just a bit I tore off my script. Christmas cracker joke. If you look closely enough for long enough at yourself, what do you find? Answer. Absolutely nothing. Oh, you bastard, you. He didn't like it, did he? They just keep making these massive budget, stupid, big, crappy, forgettable games that make the people who make the games' lives terrible for years, and all we get out of it at the end is mere rich people in this barely passable urine. Barely passable, forgettable urine. Is there anything worse? I'm not sure anymore whether these big games companies are that bothered about the oneness existence, TBH. Do you not think it's weird these days when you're watching content online and the content doesn't obey the structure you're expecting it to? Because this is just the end of this bit now. This is it, it's done.
My mind's gone numb. I've gone numb for the face in the way. It's such a nothing experience. Every layer of it is nothing. I was just curious to see whether something profound and meaningful was going to happen if I had a look at it again, but it's just a shit game.
My number 2. It's very early in the morning, right? But I wanted to come out to express how important it is to come out early in the morning. You can hear the birds singing. Hear that? The birds are starting to wake up. And it's a good time to check out stuff in your garden, stuff that you've planted. My number 2 game of the year is the biggest surprise of the year. It's a game on the Nintendo Switch. It's out on other consoles as well, but I like to talk about the Nintendo Switch, alright? It's actually the only Nintendo Switch game I've got on the list. It's a surprise in itself. This one is called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, and it is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Beautifully written characters, funny, a 2D element, platformy, combat-y 2D element that reminds you of things like Klonoa. And Rab's favourite thing to do in games, farming, is in there as well. You grow rice. It takes a lot of discipline to grow rice. Discipline is important. It is so cold. Have a wee look at this. My number 2. And I don't mean a shite. In any other year, I mean, in any other year, this would have been Game of the Year. Not a doubt about it. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is one of these special games. I've not really looked into this, but I've heard that it was made by 2 people. Can you believe that in a year where we've had things like Cyberpunk made by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people? And it's been all anybody's been talking about. And then you get a game like this that's made by 2 people and it's beautiful. It's about this wee goddess. And she's an absolute wee brat. She's a goddess sent down from heaven. Exiled. And she's hanging about with the humans and she hates it. She's like, why should I be wasting my time with these arseholes? She's stuck on a wee farm, a wee homestead with these daft humans and she's constantly trying to escape. She's great. She's hilarious. She's real. She's like, why am I kicking about with these losers? I'm a goddess. I deserve better. She's fell on hard times. They've got no food. They can't eat. They're suffering hardship. I mean, this is a 2020 game here. And this wee goddess is just one of the most compelling characters I've came across. All these characters are just, you fall in love with them. Now, what is the game? The game is this. It's a bit of 2D, running along, bashing, fighting. She's got this big magic scarf she can use to help herself get up on ledges and stuff. This part of the game itself is good enough. It's great fun to play. You unlock new abilities. You find yourself starting to get good at it. Enemies you were worried about, suddenly you don't get very worried about them anymore. You're in control of your wee goddess and your wee goddess is great. The idea is that there's all these demons that have taken over the land. And the big goddess up in heaven is like, listen, while you're down there in exile, clear away all these demons and maybe we'll let you back in. So Sakuna starts doing that. She starts going out and fighting and taking these big demons on. Boss fights are great. The levels are gorgeous. And it's a good challenge as well. It's difficult. But the beautiful thing that this game does is, for you to get stronger in this game, you need to grow rice. For you to get stronger in this game, you need to feed these lowly humans that you've been exiled with. And so, you need to get out yourself and break your back and till the field. And I love farming games, so I'll till fields as long as you want me to till a field. I get right into this stuff. What they've done here is they've made the growing of rice, and it is purely rice that you grow in the game, there's no other stuff. You grow rice. You focus on improving your rice growing. They have incorporated this element not just as some kind of wee side thing you can do, but it's completely symbiotic with all the combat stuff. The better your rice is, the stronger you are, the better you can fight, the happier the people who live with you are. And it's amazing to see how into this rice growing you get. I didn't even know how you made rice until I played this game. I had no idea there was so much involved. I thought to myself, my god, making rice is an absolute pain in the arse. Growing rice, adjusting the level of the water, putting different fertiliser in. I mean, you can get deep into the fertiliser system in this game. Some of the things you pick up when you're out fighting and exploring and stuff like that, you can use as fertiliser. And it's all about that rice. Did you know that Holland rice, the difference between white rice and brown rice is just like this kind of stuff and all that? I had no idea about any of this. I had no idea that any of this even existed, but no, I'm a rice expert. This game makes you a rice expert. But the game is truly about this lesson. The lesson is that you need people. It doesn't matter if you're a king or a pauper. It doesn't matter if you're a goddess. You need the comfort of friends. And there is always something to be gained in being with people and helping them to be happier. It's a meditative, lovely, kind-hearted, gorgeous game that plays beautifully and has loads of stuff to do. And it just has that little bit of magic in it.
Guys, thanks for...
Oh my god, fuck.
Hello?
Last of Us 2. Sorry, Ryan.
Welcome to the games of... You would not believe how expensive that title was. Welcome to the games of 2020 that I noticed. It's not really top. It's not even 3 games, to be honest. Not even a top 3. It's not 3 games and it's not a top 3. Because what the usual happened, I was supposed to do a top 3. So I looked at other people's top 3s and I started wondering why I even bother playing games or doing anything. You know how it goes. So it's not a top 3, or it's not even 3 games. This is The Last of Us 2, which came, I think it came along at the right time for humanity. I think it was almost as if they sensed that what we needed was a slaughter, murder, plague simulator thing where you could torture dogs and kill people in as many horrific ways as you could ever even... Well, you wouldn't be able to imagine it unless you were a fucking psychopath. But it's the game that we all needed when we needed it, I think, in 2020, when we were all locked in, absolutely fucking petrified of the silence in our own heads, having fantasies about doing these kind of executions to the next fucking wee woman in Asda that looks at you, Rang. That's what she gets. Oh, that's what she fucking gets. So thanks very much to the makers of The Last of Us 2 for making the world a better place, I believe. It's your them. It's your... That's life, isn't it? It's your them. That's how it goes. That's... Just never forget that it doesn't matter the things that you do because it's your them. Just keep telling yourself that. To cleanse myself looking at that disgusting piece of shit, Last of Us 2 again, I've wangled my way through the rules and allowed myself to include a short hike again in the games of 2020 because it came out on the Switch in the 2020. It came out on the Switch on the 2020. So it came out on the Steams in 2019, but it came out on the Switch on the 2020. It's so wonderful and lovely. I don't know how much it costs, I can't remember, it doesn't really matter. You can finish it in about an hour, but it's so wonderful and lovely that you should just have it. You should have a copy, just in case you need it. Like, you should have antiperspirant deodorant in case you stink, a multi-pack of Snickers in case you get hungry walking to the toilet, and a copy of A Short Hike on whatever format, but probably Switch would be best because it's so lovely. It's good for you, I think. It's one of my favourite indie games, to be honest. TBH. It's got nice colours in it. This has got nice colours in it as well. It's called Spiritfarer. That came out on the 2020. This is an animated trailer for it, but TBH, the game looks as good as that anyway. It looks like you're playing it. It's funny how we just got used to games just looking absolutely astonishingly amazing. It's like you're playing a wee painting there, like a wee cartoon you're playing. Didn't even notice, did you? But Spiritfarer, even though it overstayed its welcome, had so many satisfying moments in it, and very touching stories. It's a really cosy resource management game where you can hug anybody that you want, even that stupid fucking toad that wouldn't shut up about fried chicken for about 17 days in a row. Oh, it's nice. That was me on the Christmas day on the 2020 checking out Animal Crossing and my BFF forever, Bam Van Vossen. Before I'd given up on the idea of doing a top 3 and I was trying to still consider what my best and favourite games of the 2020 were, that's Bam Van Vossen there. He chose the name, I didn't pick it. when I was trying to decide what my favourite games were, I was hitting out with part of like, well, I suppose it'll have to be Animal Crossing just because I played it for so long. And then I'm sitting on the Christmas day on the 2020 and I'm running around my island for the first time in a month or two, and the music's absolutely amazing, and I've somehow forgotten that it's magic. Look at it, it's absolutely magic. Look at their wee faces. Look at Drake's amazing wee face and he's cracking gear and they've all got Christmas hats on and the music's amazing. What the fuck am I talking about? I suppose it will have to be Animal Crossing. What on earth kind of talk is that? What other game could have created all the connections that it did? What other game could have provided the hundreds of hours of soft play area magic that this game has provided? No other game. Fucking Call of Duty 27 bum fights, vomit on your granny. We should be writing letters every single day to Nintendo. Listen to how nice that music is coming out of that, whatever that thing's called. Skull? Is it a skull? We should be writing letters to Nintendo every single day, thanking them for only charging us 50 quid for this. Why are they not being thanked? Why are they not being thanked? 2020 would have been a really rough year if it hadn't been for Animal Crossing coming up. As it is, it was a belter. But it would have been rough without Animal Crossing. I can say without hesitation that I would have killed dozens of people if Animal Crossing New Horizons hadn't come out in 2020. Easily dozens now that I'm thinking about it. But luckily it did come out, so instead I made wee animal friends that gave me gifts that I didn't really want. Also, the more I think about it, the more I remember the fondness I've got for it, because it was the game that kind of got me into the streaming, and it gave me like videos to cut together and stuff like that. I mean, it was a good time, a lot of good material in it. It's been a rich wee mining ground for streamage. It's a wonderful neutral ground for making connections. And all the characters they're just so much fun. Absolutely every single character that I think I met in Animal Crossing New Horizons, I loved their patter. Every single one of them. To a man.
So now it's time for my number one favourite game of 2020, and anybody with any sense should have chosen this because it was the best game of the year without a doubt, but it was the best story of the year, and also I think it was a huge cultural moment as well. It's kind of part of Rab hits out with it. A huge cultural moment because what they did here with this game that's number one is they took a cultural touchstone in the video gaming world and handled it with kid gloves, treated it with the care and respect it deserved, and also did something incredibly brave at the same time. And I am, of course, talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I've already covered it on the show. I'm going to be writing some stuff about it on the website in the new year. So here I'm just going to be brief, and I'm going to prove a point as to why this game was so important. I think sometimes you can judge a game's importance in your own life by how it ripples out into the rest of your life. So Hope is here with me in the room. Hope's stunning, she's off camera, of course. We're having our kids on camera in this show. No. But I'm just going to ask her a few questions. So, Hope, since you saw your dad playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Come a wee bit closer. Since you saw your dad playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, listen to this. How many Final Fantasy games have you played? Tell me what you've played.
The games?
Yeah, tell me the games. Come closer so we can hear you.
7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 12, a bit of 14 and 15.
7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 12, a bit of 14, 15 is currently underway. And how many have you completed?
All of them up from 7 up until 12.
7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to and 12 have all been completed by my daughter Hope since she saw me playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I think that says something. I think it says something that just seeing somebody playing this game and seeing the characters and seeing that story, and it was something I touched on when I reviewed it in Consolevania, about how I could see how Hope was really excited by it. It made me excited about the Final Fantasy setting again. But there's the proof. It drew somebody right into the world of Final Fantasy. It created a new Final Fantasy fan, and it reawakened the Final Fantasy fan within me. And also something else. If you come over here as well, you will see this is where we keep our Final Fantasy card game stuff, which me and Hope play together, which is great. We're doing a league just now, and I'm currently in the lead.
What? No.
Hope is better than me, better than me at the game. So it goes into that as well. Then of course there's also, just things like getting my big cloud model and stuff, like just really take me back, and now I'm going to replay the old games, and Hope for my Christmas, Hope got me this amazing kind of graphic art thing of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and so it's upside down, and so my point here is that this game has had a massive effect on this household, and it wouldn't have had a massive effect on this household if the game hadn't have been such an expert example of how to treat an important cultural artifact, handled beautifully, made exciting again. See, if it had just been a note-for-note remake of Final Fantasy VII, it wouldn't have had the same effect. What it did, what that story did, how that game wrapped up, the potential that it awakened. I mean, just imagining what's going to come next is so exciting. What it did is it brought this fan back to life, the fan in me back to life, and made new fans in this house, and that's why it's my #1 game of the year. I went on a bit, but there you go. Well, there you go. There was my top 3. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too long and drawn out, but I had a lot to say about the games. There were some games that missed out on the list that I feel bad about missing out. Hades, for example. It's hard to believe a game as good as Hades, and Hades is amazing. A game as good as Hades isn't in my top 3. But if you've not played Hades, I don't know what to tell you. It's amazing. NBA 2K21. The only reason I never included that is because I'm kind of biased by the fact I'm right into basketball at the minute. I think it's a great game, and it has all the microtransaction stuff and all that, which is very dangerous, buying cards and all of that kind of stuff, and there's some ugly elements to it, but what a package it is. I mean, it's just so full of stuff. They're just a big budget extravaganza, and on the PlayStation 5, on the next gen consoles, it just looks absolutely amazing as well. It's just, if you're a basketball fan, you need to have that game, but it just missed out on my top 3, despite it probably being the game that I've played most this year. What else? Oh, there's so much I could list. It's been a stellar year for games, and I'll write more about some of the stuff I love on the website in the weeks ahead. So I hope you enjoyed my top 3, and I hope I'm very keen to hear what you guys thought were the best games of the year. Hey guys, thanks so much. It's been a great year for Consolevania. I'm sure me and Ryan would like to extend our thanks to you for your support throughout this very challenging production year for Consolevania. Very hard to make a show where 2 pals kick about together, sometimes 3 pals, sometimes more pals, when your pals aren't allowed to kick about together anymore. I hope this year hasn't been too much of a misery for you. It's been fucking hard, let's be serious here. But you know what, we're still here, we've still made it. It's 2021, we're kicking in, and I've got a lot of hope that next year's going to be far better than this one was. Of course, I did get married this year. That was a really sunny spot in my year, and I'm sure if you look back upon your year, you will see that you had some magical moments as well. Sometimes they can just be small things, sometimes they can be large things, but I'm sure that you can find some joyful moments of your own. Thanks again, everybody, for watching Consolevania. Next year, we hope to give you better and more. And it'd be nice to actually be able to touch each other again. Maybe we'll be able to cuddle our pals again. It'd be a lovely thing. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Oh hey, there's another couple that I missed out talking about actually, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. An amazing game. The only reason I left that off my top 3 was because Well, they've been out before. These are just, it's just a fancy remaster of what we played before. But man, another favourite game of the year, that is really. What else? 13 Sentinels. That very narrowly missed out. It narrowly missed out because I felt like it was a bit niche. It's something that I love, something I think is, the storyline is incredible. How that game was put together just blew me away. I've spoken about it at length before, at length, but I just kind of thought this isn't for everybody. I really went with my gut and with my heart on that. So anyway, so I just wanted to throw them in as well. What a year it's been! An amazing year for games.
Fearing you guys off my control and just blaming each other. She don't want to be your man or a woman. She wants to be your love. Oh.